Morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning, November 21st, 2020. It is a whopping 45 degrees outside here in Indianapolis. Not supposed to get above 50. It's supposed to rain off and on all day today, so it's a little bit overcast. Um, so anyway, today we are going to go over commercial property. So I have a commercial property. It's an old bank. Um, was built in 1900s, um, and I'm in the process of renovating it. It was in really bad shape. If you watch some of the previous shows, then hey Frank baby, if you watch some of the previous shows, then you heard me talking about it. Anyway, so I'm in the midst of figuring out what I'm going to do with this property. I think we kind of narrowed it down to where we're going to, or I'm thinking that I'm going to do self storage. Um, my property is 4,800 square feet of, I got to look at my numbers here, 4,800 square feet of building, which is like 4,000 main floor, 800 upstairs, which I don't know what I'm going to do with the upstairs. And then it's got about I can't remember, 16,000 square foot lot. Um, Minus the 4,000 square feet for the building. So it's about 12,000 square feet of active parking. So I'm thinking I was going to do storage containers by storage containers. Um, Put in uh, 20 to 30 storage containers, 10 by 20s. You can buy them for, it probably is going to run $2,000 a storage container. So if I only put in 20 storage containers, you'd be looking at about a $40,000 investment. They'll probably rent for $100 a month. So 20 of them, so it'll be $2,000 there. The building is 4,000 square feet. If I was able to put in 30 units in there, let's say they're smaller units, 100 square feet each, 10 by 10s or whatever, you'd probably looking at $50 each. So what did I just say? We're going to put in like 20 units there, 30 units there, 30 units there, at 50 bucks a piece. So there's another $1,500, so about $3,500. There's an addition. I think I can get, so basically I can get it up to about $4,000 a month gross. I originally bought my property for 30,000. My original budget was 70,000, but I'm going to bump it up. It's probably going to be about 100 and a quarter. So pretty good return on investment. Um, this week I started talking to my neighbor. I'm looking to, um, he's got a lot for sale. Well, I don't know, it's for sale. He's had it for a long time. So he and I are talking, and I'm going to see if I can make him an offer and buy that. I did figure out that zoning may be my problem. Um, it's zone C4. Self storage needs to be C5 or C7. So I'm probably going to have to do a variance. I'm talking to my lawyer about that. To do a variance, they're thinking it's going to be about $2,500 to $5,000 to get the variance done. I don't think I'm going to have an issue. I mean, code enforcement doesn't seem to really care. Like my neighbors have basically, that's a towing company, and their engines and, all they pull an engine, they're not too worried if it spills on the ground. Is that what I want to say? So I don't know if I'm going to have an issue, because actually I think, in the process of doing all this, I'm going to really, I think I'm going to upgrade the neighborhood. So I think that that should be fine. Anyways, so long story short, so what today is about is there's a building across the street and it has demo orders on it. So I don't know if I know the city has been, Citizens has been out to disconnect utilities for that building. Um, and, it's an interesting facade on it. Oh, I got a picture of it. Let me see here. Actually, I included it in my yesterday. Hold on, let me pull it up here. Let me put this on. So this is the facade. This was actually an older picture because this is actually not there. It's not, I don't think this is there anymore. Anyways, this here is 8 up nowadays, and is falling in. Um, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 windows on the upstairs. There's a bunch of windows on the back. We're going to go through this video. I shot some short video yesterday of this commercial property because I've got a demo guy over demoing out my building. And over the past month, he has gotten to know everybody in the neighborhood, knows all the scoops on everything. And so I asked him about this building because, I know he got demo orders on it, but I kind of like this old building. And so I said, what's the scoop on it? And he says, oh, it's wide open. There's a couple squatters living in it, So anyway, so I went over yesterday and it was funny. He just kicked the door in, and so we just walked inside. I mean, it actually wasn't even locked really. So, anyways, but we walked inside, and so anyway, so I shot a bunch of video with this property, and so we're gonna kind of go over it, and we're just gonna kind of have a ramble this morning. So we're gonna go through it. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna come up with some ideas for it. I'm still in the self storage mindset. So I think that I will run numbers basically based off of that. But I did a little bit of research last night on, what is warehouse space going for. When I saw this building, I thought, okay, it's about like mine. Mine doesn't run that deep. But this one runs really deep. So anyway, so we're going to kind of get into this. We're going to kind of run some numbers. It is a scary building. I think most people would panic at the sight of it, but I think it's a good case study for us. So I think we can run some numbers on it. I got Frank on the call. So Frank, baby, you can help me out. And if anybody else dials in, then you guys can ask me questions or throw out ideas. I'm not that great at commercial. I have only done a couple of properties commercial, so I am not the expert, but we've been doing residential for a long time. And so, some of that crosses over. And so anyway, so, and especially estimating and stuff like that. So anyway, so without further ado, let's get into this bad boy. All right, so obviously this is our property. I went in yesterday. I guess I will just start out with the videos that I have on this one. Give me a second here. This is a lot bigger property than I thought. This one has got like 20-foot ceilings. All right, I got to turn the sound down because I was a cussing fool yesterday looking at this building because I was really intrigued by it. So I'm already inside. So I didn't start outside and come in. I didn't have my normal GoPro setup to where I'm doing stabilization and, have the easy, super awesome videos. But a lot of this building looks like my building originally, but there's a ton of stuff in here that's really interesting to me. So anyway, so this is the beginning of it all. So we'll just kind of go through it. So this is the front of the building. So this is all concrete block now. At some point in time, it was probably windows or some other different facade on the front, and then they just filled it all in with concrete block. This is actually upstairs. There's a office space up there. I'll go into that a little bit after a little bit. But this is all going to have to come down. And we're going to have to, obviously there's a bunch of damage up in here. You can see all the mold and all that sort of stuff because the water is just bad. So we're just going to kind of run through this. So obviously the roof is gone here. This is where the upstairs ends, and then the rest is all warehouse, and this was all flat roof. And it's not, there was no taper to this roof. So I could see why this all caved in. So we'd have to rebuild the roof, and probably in that process, we're going to put an angle on it. And so we're going to have to eliminate. There was windows on the back side of this, and so we're probably just going to have to eliminate those. There's obviously some windows here on the sides, which I find impressive. So I mean, there's actually still a lot of stuff in this building, and that really blew my mind because scrappers would have a field. I mean, this is actual, wiring. And that's actually a thing of wire too. So I'm surprised the scrappers haven't grabbed that. This is actually rope here. There's some sort of either a power converter here, or I don't think it's a furnace. It's big enough to be a furnace, but anyway, so all this stuff would have to come down. The ceiling in here would have to come down. There's a lot of demo work in here. And obviously there's a lot of roof joists that have to be replaced. And these joists, I just recently, with my building, we ended up putting in about 180 different roof joists that we ended up rebuilding. So 2x10 by 16s. One trip we bought 150 of them at $28 a piece. And then the next trip we went back for another 30 and they were up to $32 a piece. I have no clue why lumber is so expensive. I don't think that's something that we're importing, but it is crazy high in price. I don't know. It's COVID, and so they stopped manufacturing, and now they're trying to dial it back up, and it's supply and demand. I don't know. It's just crazy. I was not seeing asbestos in this property. So like this is all piping. Normally that would have massive amounts of asbestos wrapped around it, but that was not there. So it was actually rusting. So it's just a monster. I mean, it goes back really, really deep. And then there is still a decent amount, a lot back there. Um, Now the floors are all wooden. They're all hardwoods, but they're all rotted out and just in really bad shape. You can see there some of the boards and stuff like this. There's some machinery that was left in here. I mean, would think that a scrapper would have picked that up, if it's not worth anything. I've got video later. I didn't have my flashlight on me when I originally went out to look at this bad boy, um, when I first walked in. And so, yeah, this is all wood. Anyways, but I didn't have my flashlight when I first went in. Now, if you start looking here, they started to build some walls or something here, and it's all newer 2x4s, right? That's pretty cool. Now look, most of these joists back here on the back are all new. So that'll bring my roof costs down. Now, they've obviously replaced some of the decking back here, but some of this stuff is going to have to be replaced. And I'm sure we're going to have, where there's roofing that I can't see what's up there, we're going to have some rot. We're going to have to do some replacing. We're going to have to do some work up there. So I don't know what I'm going to get into. So I'm going to budget like I have to replace all this. I mean, obviously I'm not going to have to replace these, but if we get into something or whatever. So I didn't go out back. So this is, I've got shots of this on the second video that we'll watch, that I brought my flashlight back and went back through it. So this is an interesting little room, and we'll see that in a little bit. But they must have been like a freight company or something like that, because they had a secure room. So anyway, so when we're doing all the demo, the brick over here, we're gonna get that pretty much, to where it's whatever. It's probably not gonna require much demo. Probably just scraping and whatnot. But over here, we'll probably go down all the way down to the lath. We're not going to take out the studs, but we'll leave the lath. Now there's the what's probably was that garage door. So there's a big garage door. I mean, these are, I don't know, man. These are like 16 or 18 foot ceilings. They're huge. So you can kind of see back here, this is the upstairs, right? So it's actually a brick facade back here. So the problem is there really was no level to the roof. I mean, it was basically a flat roof. So I would want to taper it down. So I'd probably, maybe what we would do is we would come up, we'd have to figure out the numbers, but either we're going to close these off and not have windows there, or we're going to raise the roof up high enough to where we got a good taper on it. And then that way we've got, and we'll just put in smaller windows back here. Or I keep saying I don't know if I'm going to do this project or not, because we're going to run the numbers today and see. But, I mean, it's an exciting thing. Um, so again, here's more. This is that, what I want to secure room is back here. Behind that wall. And so here you can see the joists and whatnot. So the roof is just shot. So there's going to be a lot of boards that we're going to have to replace. These are kind of cool. These are the old, warehouse skylights. So that's cool. And that there's actually some in the other room over by the secure area. We'll see that in a little bit too. So obviously this place is trashed out, needs a ton of work, but it's just money, right? We can run a case study on this. We can look at it. We can try and figure out what it's going to cost us to do all this work. Like I say, I don't see hazardous materials in here. I just see a lot of age and a lot of neglect. And most of this stuff will have to come out. Multiple dumpsters. So I'm going to start going up. So all of a sudden my camera decided to go to black and white, or I mean, it's just such a dark area, but you can see how trashed out the upstairs is. It's all falling in. So I'm having to climb up through the rock pile, which is the staircase going up. So now what's kind of interesting about this building compared to my building is, when you come in the front door of my building, to get to the second floor, you have to go in and then over to the left, over on the left, far left wall. Like my door is centrally located. Then you got to go in and probably about 10 or 15 feet over on the wall, but then still about 20 or 30 feet in. And then my staircase comes from about a third of the way in, going up towards the front. So my staircase is really aligned wrong. So if I wanted to turn my upstairs into an office space, I would have to move the staircase, or switch it to where it's from the front to the back, and then I'd have to have a little hallway to get there and get up there. So I mean, it's not. That's why I don't know what I'm going to do with mine. It's not really designed very well. I could theoretically, we talked about this, was move my staircase to my southern wall and then open up the side of the building to where you would come in on the side and then just immediately go up the staircase, and then you could have office space up there. So anyway, so yeah, this is all lath plaster. The plaster's all basically come off. It's rough, man. I mean, it's bad. Um, I got one guy that does demo, and I mean, he's a hoss, man, but I mean, it's taken him, I don't know, 6 weeks to clear out all the, mine. This thing is probably two and a half, three times the size of mine. So anyway, so here's the roof. You can see those two skylights. There is no taper on this roof. I think you can kind of see it probably valleyed in the middle. Just not. I mean, I guess you could leave it flat and then do it. So I really didn't even go any further because I started getting scared because there's no roof up here on this upper building. There's just, I have no clue what the floors are like. So I did not want to go run the risk, of falling. At least this time I'm not out by myself and people know where I'm at. So if I didn't come back after an hour, hopefully my guy across the street would come over and take a look at it. And all these windows are just shot and gone. So this is a building next door, and I think if Kyle and Allison are on, Kyle and them got a tax lien on this building over here. That roof is shot too. Or maybe theirs is over there. I think theirs is over there, so that might not be the same building. So anyway, so you can see here, this is the building next door. It's a countertop place. And so their roof is in decent shape. But they also have a flat roof and they pool up there, right? So this was flat roof, pooled. This roof did not hold on our building. It's just rough. Oof. So like I was saying earlier, is at least with this centrally located door and then the staircase right here, you could literally you could use this office space up above. All right, so let's go to my next video. Oops. Let's see what we got here. All right, so this is back in that room that was dark before, and we'll see the secure storage area. There's another double set of doors here. There's a gas furnace up here. I would assume that that's no good anymore, although it didn't look horrible. It looked pretty decent. And again, a lot of wooden floors in here. I don't know, what the heck was that? Was that a ladder? Holy cow, is that a ladder? Let me go back. Not that little itty bitty baby ladder. Yeah, oh yeah, there's a big, long, huge. That's a monster ladder there. And then here's the secure storage area. Here's me trying to check out that gas furnace to see if it was still any good, the heater. So here's the secure storage. I actually got smart and did not go in case the door would shut and latch on me. Although I probably could have just busted through the side here, obviously. I see another one of those big, gigantic ceiling lights. And then there's some windows here, which I'll just block that up. Get rid of those windows. So, I mean, I guess, let's look here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I show anything else? Oh, I was going over to look at the caterpillars. Oh, the basement. So the basement on this place doesn't appear to be a full basement, but there's about a foot of water in the basement. So I did not get to go down very far. I didn't get to go roaming around in the basement. I know everybody likes the deep, dark nasties, but I didn't have my wading boots with me. So, yeah, man, I wish I brought my regular camera with me, my GoPro setup, because my cell phone just wasn't cutting it. It seems to go, this is the wall. I did not see, actually, I think I show it. I did not see an entry point into the other areas, but obviously there's a lot of joists here that may need to be replaced. So every bit of joist that I may save up front may need to be used in here. So anyway, so it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. So it looks like there's 2 big windows back here. Oh, there's some brickwork there. That's wide open, right? So I didn't do a whole lot. I was going to show you guys. So there's a what do you call it? A lift station here. There's 2 of those, and then a scissor station here. Right? These were just sitting in there. Schmidt's Heavy Machinery. So they did not. I mean, they're rat's nest here. So somebody has stolen it. So it's probably too expensive to even think about fixing these things. So anyways, but I just thought that was interesting. So, all right. So, we're going to start trying to run some numbers on this bad boy. Let me pull down my cash flow analysis. Okay. So, here's the crazy part, right? I know you're already looking at this property like, holy cow, this is no way, but we're gonna run the numbers anyways and see if it really is a no way, I ain't doing it. So anyway, this is the killer on this property, I think. The property taxes on this property. This property obviously is in really rough shape, but the taxes are $6,500 a year right now. That's just crazy high. To give you a comparison, my property is, give me a second here, I'll have to look it up. And I'm right across the street. Let me pull it up here. Hold on. I guess I don't have my tag. Oh, maybe, yeah. Hold on. Hold That's not what I want. Sorry, guys. My property taxes are $1,000 a year, 981, and that's actually it's my semi tax is 353. So they've got some fines on there. That's why I'm up to that. So I'm about $700 a year, and this one is $6,500 a year. Now this one is about 18,000 square feet, and I would assume that the upstairs portion of that is, I don't know. So let's say we got 16,000. Let's say we'll take 2,400 off. I don't think it's that big upstairs, but maybe it is. Let's just do like 1,500. I don't think it's even that big. Probably 1,000. So let's just say we got 17,000 square feet of warehouse space, right? And let's just say we did 450 a square foot, right? That's what warehouse space is going for on the cheap side, 450 to 550 a square foot, right? So let me pull my calculator over so you guys can see what's going on. So we've got 17,000 square feet of warehouse space at 450 a square foot. So 76.5 a year divided by 12, so 63.75. So if we got 63.75 in rents, boy, I don't even know what's a good vacant. I mean, I guess once you get somebody in, they're going to stay for a long time, right, Frank? You still on, Frank? So what would be a good vacancy rate on this thing? I don't even know. It's gonna take me 3 months to find somebody, 6 months to find somebody, 1 month to find somebody. It's a commercial area. I don't know. So let's go with 3 months. I think that's stupid high. But I don't know commercial numbers that well. I mean, normally I would be 8%. Average maintenance and repair costs. If we do a triple net on this, I really shouldn't have any of that stuff. But I don't know. I'm going to guesstimate here. I mean, we're going to basically redo the whole place. You know, at least get water and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to lowball this. What's 2% maintenance? $1,500 a year, maybe. And then I don't know. I'm gonna bump this up. What am I at? 226. So counting illegal. I don't know, dude. Frank, help me out, brother. I don't know what to put in here for these numbers. So 65.54. I think it's about. I was looking at some other storage numbers here. So cash flow is $4,000 a month. What do we, if we want a 15% cap rate, what do we need to buy this bad boy for? My numbers, I got to plug in something to get it going. So, that fill me in. Yep. So I need to be all in. If I want a 15% return on this thing, I need to be all in for $323,000. Man, I think that's massively doable. Let's just go with my typical numbers. You know, I don't even think that'll be that high. I'm gonna put that at 10%. I just don't even think that that's even reasonable. Property insurance on this building is probably gonna run me, I don't know, let's put it in like $6,000 a year. I don't know if that'll be that high or not. So now to get a cap rate of 15%, I need to be all in for 200,000. I think that's still very doable. I mean, depending on how much I have to pay to get the building. But let's run some numbers on this bad boy. So all right, so plumbing. Let's come back to that. So let's say I'm going to say we're going to have probably $40,000 in roof, right? I'm gonna say, because I've just recently done mine. My roof is probably half of this one. Because my building is 4,000 and this one is, oh, okay. So mine's, so number probably needs to be higher than that. So roof is probably going to be, oh man. So my roof is about 22 grand to put it in. And if this roof is, the building square footage is probably 7, so it's probably 4 times as much. Man, I can't believe I would spend 160,000 though on that. Or oh no, I'm sorry, $80,000 on it. But let's put that in. So we got 80,000 there. Clean out is probably going to run 20 grand. I have about 8 grand into my clean out. Zoning, if I'm going to do self-storage versus whatchamacallits, then that's a different issue. But if I just keep it as warehouse space, then I don't have to change the zoning because this is a C4's building. I'm going to leave that blank for now. Now siding, I'm going to probably figure another 5 grand into fixing the siding. The garage doors are probably going to run me, like I would say probably like $3,000. Windows, what did we figure on the front of the building? Let me pull that picture up again. Give me a second here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 windows on the front. There's probably another, so I'm going to say it's probably 20 windows. And my guy usually charges about 300 bucks a piece. I don't know if commercial is going to require us to do, I mean, but these are actually even not openable. So those are actually cheaper because you just basically you build your frame and you just put in the double thickness glass. So we could probably get away with a lot cheaper than that. But let's say it's 300 bucks a piece. We probably got 20 windows. So there's probably about $6,000 in windows. HVAC, I'm going to probably figure the upstairs unit, I could probably get that done for 6. And then I just put in bulk heaters for the warehouse space. So I don't know, man. I mean, probably 15 grand. Electrical, probably, I don't know. I'll put in 10 grand. Plumbing, I would assume I can get that done for about 5 grand. Now we might have to do, if we have to do sprinkler systems and stuff like that, let's bump it up to 15. Obviously there's permits and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if I would spend that much money on that or not. And then another miscellaneous of another 20 grand. I mean, I'm sure this is all haphazard, and I'm sure commercial guys are going to be choking on their sweat, right? Because they think that my numbers are way too low. So where are we at here? We're at 15,000 plus 10,000 plus 15,000 plus 80,000 plus 20,000 plus 5,000 plus 3,000 plus 6,000. That's a lot of numbers. 20,000. So $177,000. Now, let's fudge factor it. I'm a screw up and I don't know what I'm doing. So times 1.5 equals, what did we just say? 265? 265.5. So going back here, so we're not quite a, whatchamacallit. Let's say we've got 265,000 into this property. It's about 11% cap rate, right? That's if we do, we just rent it out as office space. And that's not including what we would probably get for the upstairs, right? Although I didn't factor that in, but that's, I mean, I'm giving myself 70,000 or whatever it was. Let me pull that number back up again. 177, but then finishing out the office above. So I'm actually giving myself almost 100 grand to miscellaneous bullshit. Oh, excuse my French. Miscellaneous stuff. So I think I could easily finish out that upstairs office and whatnot for the 95,000 and any other stuff that shows up. So that's not bad. All right, so now let's think about, what if I turn this into self-storage instead of just did the warehouse space? But probably the warehouse space is probably the way to go. And I actually included a pretty heavy vacancy credit loss. Oops. Sprinklers and indoor pool too. Yep, those are big numbers. They are big numbers. So, once you get a tenant, Frank, you got commercial. How many, how often are they how long are they staying once you get one? I mean, it probably takes you 3 or 4 months to find one, but then once they're in, how long are they? They're usually staying 5 or 10 years, right? Isn't that what you're usually setting your leases at? So this number would go down after you finally place somebody. So, let's say we put it back to where it normally would be for a normal rental because they're going to stay longer. Then, you're up to almost a 16%. Might take years to find one. Well, not in New York City, but I'm cautiously or not even cautiously I'm optimistic. I'm not cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic that I'll get it rented quick. All right, so let's say let's go with something that's a little more less. Had a vacancy for 26 months. Yeah, but you're downtown New York City. Nobody wants that crap. All right, so let's go self-storage because your placement numbers are going to be a lot better. All right, so we go self-storage on this bad boy. All right, so I think that vacancy credit loss is probably still pretty good. We're going to go with if the size of this building, let me pull these things up here. Hold on a second. Let me share this with you guys. Let me see what I got here. Hold on. That's not what I want. Is it what I want? No, I don't think it is. Is it? Nope, 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 nope. Okay. All right, so let's look here. So this is actually 3 separate parcels. So this building is on 3 separate parcels. So I'm having a hard time reading this is the report page. And this is showing the building. So on this sheet, the building is 65 feet wide. So this tells me what my upstairs, I think this tells me what my upstairs is, 65 by 30, which is 1950. So about 2,000 square feet upstairs. So, all right. So 1950 square foot. So we get 65 feet of frontage. And that probably tracks, right? And then we've got 120 of depth to the building. So, so there's 3 parcels here. And the second parcel doesn't show any building on it, right? So this is the report page from the recorder's office. And then the third parcel shows a smaller building on it, and it's only 12 by 72. I did not see this a third little whatever you want to call it. When you look at the topographical GIS map, I do not see this supposed third building. Do I have a map picture? I don't think I do I? So here, let me maximize this. So this is, um, so this is 1, 2, 3. These are the 3 lots that go with this building. So these 2 are one building. So I'm not sure why they show it separately on this GIS. And there's no building in here, right? But according to the tax records, there's 1, 2, 3, 3. There's whatever. There's one building here, and then there is one little itty bitty building in here. And I did not see that from when I was walking around and stumbling and crawling over all the dirt and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to say that even if this is combined with the other 2, quote unquote. So let's say we got 12 by, and it's supposedly only 72 feet back. I don't know about that. All right, so let's just add that here. So 65, so we've got, what, 77 feet wide. What was I trying to look up here? Oh, storage wise, I wanted to see how big I got. So 77 by 120. Let's say I wanted to make 10 by 20 building, or storage units inside of this building. So we've got, if we do 10 footers, let's say we go, it's 65. So maybe what we do is we do 10 footers like this, right, by 20s, and we do 12 of them, right? You following me? I'll have a little path over here on the left, and then I'll have another 10 by 20 over here, right? So I've got 10 by 20, 10 by 20, and then I'll have little 10 by 10s in the middle, right? So 20, 40, I'm sorry, 20, 40, 2 10 by 20s, and then a 10 footer in the middle. So that's 50 feet, gives me 65. Well, that's actually, supposedly it's even more, 77. But 65, we're gonna go with this number, 65. So I'm gonna have 5 footers on either side. So yeah, we got actually 7.5 foot wide alleys going through here, right? So if I could do 12, 20 footers, 10 by 20s over here, 12 over here, that's 24, and then let's say I only get 10 in here because I got to have a little room for when you come in through the back door, you can do whatever you need to do, and there's going to be a little bit in here. So let's say we've got, let's say 9. So we're dedicating 30 feet to opening here, and then this down here where we're going to have the opening. So we got 30 feet. So we got 24 units at $100 a piece. That's $2,400. And then we've got 9 at, like, let's say $50 a piece. So it's not quite the economy of scale for the warehouse space. So 2,400. Oops, sorry. 2,400. So we got 9 times $50 a month, 450 plus the 2,400. So we're about 2,850. So 2,850. So 2,850, and then we've got probably a lower vacancy rate. Sorry, I've shut off my live stream, so I can't see him as I have a vacancy for 26 months at 3K. Okay, yeah, you already told me that. So 2,850, the taxes are going to kill you. So this is, yeah, so self-storage is probably not a good solution for us. 443, 4.43 if we've got to kick in 265,000 on this property. Well, that was quick and painless. considering I'd also have to, but we'd be able to increase our numbers because we'll probably rent the upstairs to an office. So maybe that would be, you could probably have a couple of offices up there. So if it's really 2,000 square feet upstairs, 1950, if you separated it into another couple of offices, you could probably get this thing up to, probably, they'd have to have parking though. So, boy, I don't know. I was gonna say $1,000 times two. We could have probably 2 units upstairs because it's centrally located. So you could have the right being one office set up, the left being another office set up. But if it's no parking, and really there's not parking, except street parking is about it. Unless they park across the street on my lots, which I don't know if I'd dedicate space to that. So I don't know, maybe $1,000 extra, so $3,850 instead. So yeah, so I mean it's still 7.64, so it's probably not worth it to do self storage in there. Not to mention the fact that I'd have to spend 5 or 10 to get changed, and there's some laws in place to where we'd have to do some other funny stuff. The zoning requirements for, because this backs up to a dwelling. Amazon needs more warehouse space. Yeah, but I don't think I could handle the big semis, right? This is on an alley, so I don't think I could handle big semis. A lot of them. I mean, you know what I mean? And Amazon needs a lot of them, right? So yeah, you'd have to have. I'm sure that Amazon doesn't want to touch you unless you can give them like 500,000 square feet or something, right? Or 100,000 or 300,000 square feet. I don't even know. So yeah, I think probably the only. I mean, I'd obviously have to do a site study to see if even warehouse. So anyway, so I guess it's probably as much work as this property needs, that you probably want to turn it back into warehouse space. But then, like you said, 26 months to find a tenant at 3K a month. But you're not talking. Did that have warehouse space at 3K a month? Uh, so yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's on the demo list. I would love to save it from the demo list. I may go over and I would love to get some of those big ladders and stuff like that, but that's just the hoarder in me. I don't need that crap. So it'll probably just go with the dumpsters that they bring in to demo that site. So it'll be a lot here probably within the next year. Oh, that was retail. Yeah, I don't think this area is conducive to retail, really. I mean, there's some churches and stuff like that up the street, but they're not paying, higher rents or anything like that. I mean, I was looking online, and commercial space or warehouse space is going for 450 to 550 a square foot. So, I was going on the low side at 450 a square foot. But yeah, I mean, you really, for the amount of work that you've got into this property, you really need to be able to rent it out for what, 5,000 a month. And that'll get you back up to 11%. I mean, the warehouse would probably be ideal. You'd have to look at the back to see how easy accessible it is to bring semis in or whatever. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably not a deal. It probably needs to become a lot because of the amount of work it needs. Um, I mean, even if there's just no way I'm gonna get it done for my 177. So I mean, it's gonna be probably at least 200 grand to restore this. And I really don't even feel comfortable coming off of this number. So I mean, if I come off 200, I mean, I don't see a way to do it other than a big warehouse or whatever. The Church of Spouses. That's right, baby. Say it on the mountain. Church of Spouses buying houses. Booyah. Booyah. Amen, brother. So anyway, so all right. So hopefully this was useful. I'm pleased. I mean, I am not let me put this back on me. Where's my mouse? There it is. I am not an expert on commercial, not by far. So I'm sure there's some major discrepancies in my numbers. Um, I'm learning on my building because there's been some surprises. We ran into the city came through and our citizens came through and replaced our main water line going down the street. And because my building didn't have water on at the time, they did not reconnect me. So that's probably a $10,000 to $15,000 expense. And I don't know if I'm for self storage. I don't think I need water. So I am debating on whether to have that installed or not. I've also, figured out that I need different zoning on my self-storage idea. So I may, I'm going to probably spend that money to get the variance. But I think my whole thing is more conducive to it. But I may end up there is some zoning ordinances that you are supposed to have buildings, not um, vehicles or whatever. So I don't know if they'll throw a hissy fit about storage containers or not. So I may not ever be able to get storage containers passed, but I might be able to build those into like a carport. And would that be considered a building? Maybe. So we're thinking outside the box, folks. So anyway, leave me a comment, leave me a like if you like the video. If I'm horribly wrong and I forgot a ton of stuff, then please educate me because I'm always looking to learn. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, let me know below. And I appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you.